welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thanks for joining me for voting video number 381 in the incredible Mandela Effect voting video series here on the Moneybag 73 channel. Okay, this blew my mind last night. I saw a video from Recall Vector. Haven't seen anything put out in a little while by him. And then he hits me with this black hat on the Scarecrow. I was like, whoa, what? Looks like he has a witch's hat on now. That looked totally foreign to me. And oh my gosh, you haven't seen the movie in 30 years. But no, I just did a video. My last voting video was on Click Your Heels. So I just was looking at this stuff. And now the hat looks totally foreign to me. Check out a little bit of this right here. I mean, I remember a brown hat. In the video here, Recall Vector says some people remember a green hat. Please comment down below what you remember. I remember a brown hat, all right? And then there's also something else he pointed out here, these polka dot pants. I can't say I don't remember well, this part of it's kind of odd because I remember brown patches. I remember patches, square patches. So here we have circular polka dots. It does look bizarre, but I'm not 100% on the pants. I can't say, oh yeah, these were definitely not here, because I remember patches. So, but the hat for me is totally wrong. I remember a brown hat. I remember a brown hat. So the black hat looks like a witch's hat. It looks totally crazy. Vote, please vote thumbs down on this if it was always black for you. Thumb this up if you recall a brown hat or a green or pink or yellow, whatever, any other hat, anything other than black. Please thumb this video up. So I just have a few little things here. This is from my last video. I can put this down below if you didn't happen to see it. This is about click your heels 3 times and say there's no place like home. That wasn't said in the movie. But look at this real quick right here.
Look at your face. You're so troubled, my dear. Of course our raps make you angry. We're all mad here.
You're washed up and washed out. You're fading and thus click your heels together, baby, and bugger off to Kansas.
So here's a rap battle. I don't know what it's from, but I just came across it on YouTube. So, I mean, can anybody do a little bit of research? They just botched 3 things within 10 seconds. I mean, we're all mad here. No, it's most everyone's mad here. I had to think about it for a second because I'm not familiar with that line. I know we're all mad here. That's what I've known my whole life. From Alice in Wonderland. We're all mad here. Well, it never was we're all mad here. I can't remember if I don't think I ever did that video. I might still do that video because there's some incredible, Jacobian has some incredible reality residue on that. So I might do that video. I've been wanting to do that video actually. But anyway, so most everyone's mad here. And tap your heels. She says click your heels. So they get 2 quotes wrong, and then they got the Scarecrow in the brown hat here instead of a black one. I mean, doesn't anyone check anything? And why is that so hard? Well, because in a world I came from, all that stuff would have been right. So just craziness of the Mandela effect. So moving along here, you got a lot of these stage performances. I'm sure you're gonna find brown hats. Here's a brown, they chose to use a brown hat. Here's those square patches that I was talking about that I remember. Now he's got polka dots on his pants. So here's the brown hat. I mean, you can go through and look at stuff. You're gonna see brown and black. The black just stands out like something foreign. It looks like this now. It looks like he has a witch's hat on. So I'd say even the shape of the hat in the movie looks a little odd to me. But that's about it. Please vote. Comment down below. Real quick before I go, I wanted to point this out. The International Mandela Effect Conference just interviewed Tom Campbell. I'm going to link this down below. This was really interesting. He has a really interesting take on the Mandela Effect. And I was going to play a tiny bit of that for you here. Listen to this right here. This is where they're asking him some Mandela facts. He said he couldn't really remember some quotes or things, and he got a couple of them wrong, as in he had the memory we have of something that's never existed. But he gives a really good explanation. He did a lot of thinking into this because he knew, what the Mandela Effect Conference is about and what they believe. So he did some research. This is what he had to say from, this is a physicist that's done a lot of different things. This is really interesting here, so I would recommend this video. But here we go.
Slide here in this. Could our IOUC, the individuated unit of consciousness, or us as individuals within the LCS, have experienced a different history file from the historical database, and therefore it manifests as what we call Mandela effect in our reality?
Okay, LCS being larger consciousness system. So like universal consciousness, I think, is what I usually call it.
I would say no, it's probably not the way it works, but it doesn't mean that it isn't a real effect. I think there's other explanations for it besides that. I thought about it a little because I knew that's what you guys were about, and I kind of found 4 different things that contribute to it. So I don't think it's just a thing. I think there's several things that lead us to this. Now, the first one was just the idea that there isn't, what I talked about, that reality is only in the mind of the observer. Well, every observer has his own reality because it's his interpretation of the data that he gets. So for one, there is not a reality back then that existed. There is no master reality that exists. It only exists in the minds of the players, and the players all have a somewhat different reality because...
Thank you. Let me stop real quick. Thank you. There's no objective fixed reality that we all experienced. Those people who keep coming at us with this, that's not the way it works. So we all have our individual realities. We all are perceiving reality. There is no out there. People got to get away from out there. There is no out there. Everything out there is in here because it's all in here. We all have our own individual realities. Yes, we share a collective, but it's not how I have always thought prior to the Mandela Effect. It's not how most people think it is. So anyway, I really like him, how he pointed that out there. All right, let's go on a little bit further with this.
They interpret the data they get. So there isn't a reality that is kind of the right answer. So that's one thing, so just looking from a perspective of consciousness, there is no the reality that was, doesn't exist, never has existed. It's a bunch of individual realities. And now we can look at it and see what we, in general, most of us, saw or heard. But so there's that idea that there is no right answer to what it was. We all have our own reality. The next 2 things, that was the first one. The next 2 things that came to my mind had to do with the way consciousness perceives. It's attributes of perception. So those are kind of, physical things. And then the last one was basically a paranormal thing. Sometimes the LCS can change things up on us just to get our attention and open our mind. It likes to do that. For instance, crop circles. You have crop circles.
Okay, so I'm going to link this down below. You can come and listen to the rest of his explanation here. The LCS, the larger consciousness system, I feel with synchronicities is making me, is waking me up constantly. Like, oh, wow, look at that. That was crazy. How did I was thinking this and how that just happened? I mean, just making me feel more connected to everything. I mean, I'm constantly having the synchronicities that we've been talking about here on the channel for a long time. So that's about it. He also talked about how we're saying we're at a higher vibration and we're resonating with different things. He's saying that's not how it works. It's not about aligning ourselves with a certain frequency and why we can see the changes, other people can't. He says that's not how it works. It's more about a consciousness thing, which is non-physical. So, interesting interview here, and made me kind of, this is constantly something that's changing. We don't have enough people talking on the Mandela effect that really know how reality works better than the average Joe. So we need more people like Tom Campbell ringing in on this subject. We have some people, you know, Cynthia here, she's a physicist, and she has her beliefs on what's going on, and she has really good perspective. I love hearing her perspective on the whole phenomenon and everything. But we need more high-level people that have been researching reality, quantum physics, and information that can ring in on, you know, how it's happening, why it's happening, what's happening. I mean, the Mandela effect is so crazy. This black hat on the Scarecrow just looks so wrong. I mean, this is an 80-year-old film. How did he change his hat last week? I mean, just a few days ago. How did he just change his hat? I mean, it's just crazy, and you all know that. I'm just kind of preaching to the choir here. But anyway, check out the video down below. I'll be back with you all soon. I'm working, as many of you know, I'm into cryptocurrency and doing very well right now. The bull market's raging right now, and there's lots of opportunities. So I've been involved in one particular cryptocurrency that did very well initially and then has come back down almost to where it started and has flattened out. But the developers have continued building on it, and now no one's talking about it, and it's just kind of a sleeping giant. So I've only mentioned 2 cryptocurrencies on Moneybag 73 channel. Now I have CryptoBag 73, used to be Shine the Light 73, and I talk about cryptocurrencies over there. I'm very particular and very careful with what I talk about on this channel because I never would want to mislead any of you. I would feel extremely bad if I told you about something and some of you put in $500 and ended up with $100 or something. You know, I don't want anyone to lose any money. Of course, anything I would be telling you, you'd have to do your own research. You know, don't take it as a sure thing. You know, you never want to do that. But anyway, I'm joining the team a little bit. I may take a larger position, but on this one particular cryptocurrency, I'm taking a little bit larger role, and I'm really excited about it moving forward, but I don't feel the time is right. So when the time's right, I'm going to make a video on it, and I'm going to present it all to you. And, you know, the way things are right now in cryptocurrency, I'm going to be bringing you a possible 5x, 10x possibility of whatever you put in. So you put in $100, you got $1,000. We're not talking years here. We're talking that could happen in weeks. So there's just huge opportunities right now, and it's happening all the time. You know, I just put $1,500 into something last week, and it's $8 or $9 grand now. So that's just normal. That's normal in cryptocurrency right now, if you know where to look and what you're doing. So at some point, I'm going to bring that video forward. I was going to say that I've only mentioned 2 cryptocurrencies. One of them I mentioned at like 17 cents. Which is now $1.20. So what's that? 7 times your money. I mentioned that last year. And then I mentioned another one that some of you took an opportunity to jump into. And the first one I mentioned 17 cents. It's now $1.20. The second one I mentioned at 16 cents. And it's now 60. So it's up 4 times, whatever you would have put in. That's the way I want to keep it. I only want to bring things that have multiplied in value. I don't want to be just bringing something that's, you know, just going to be a pump and dump and just jump up and down. But anyway, you can look for that video. Even if you've never bought a cryptocurrency in your life, this particular project I'm talking about that I'm going to do a video on, maybe in November, they have the technology on the website where you can use fiat currency, which is the US dollar, you know, credit card, and you can, or debit card or whatever, and you can put $50, $100, you know, just to try out, just get involved. Cryptocurrency is here to stay, everybody. You know, El Salvador has Bitcoin as legal tender. That's the money they're using now because they use the US dollar, but now they're using Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin is doing very well, so it's enriching the people of El Salvador. Of course, there's the downside. It could go down, whatever. But cryptocurrency is not going away. Everybody, and I know a lot of you aren't into it. So maybe you want to, in your mind, throw $100 at the wind if you could afford $100. Maybe your $100 becomes $500. That's what I'm trying to bring you. So I will bring that to you at some point. I'm sorry for being long-winded about all this. But that's about it, everyone. Go create the reality that you want, because we don't have a fixed reality. It's not an objective reality. We're all experiencing our own reality, which coincides with everyone else's own reality, but it is your own reality. Reality is subjective. I keep trying to tell people this. They argue with, no, it's an objective reality. There's only one reality and we all see the same thing. No, we don't. That's not the way it works, in my opinion. But I really don't think that is the way it works. But anyway. All right. Go create that reality that you want. And I'll be back with all of you soon.